sitting, he is within his rights. Are you with me? However, the reward is half of that person that will stand and make salah. Khair? So a person, I'm talking about sunnah salah. I'm not talking about farad. Farad salah, it's established. Every person must stand. Only when he has a reason, then he can sit. But I'm talking about the sunnah salah. Can a person stand and sit and make salah? Yes. Even if you don't have an excuse. You just feel like, okay, I'm going to make 2 rakat sitting. You don't have any excuse. For sunnah salah, you can do that. But the reward will be half of the reward of a person who makes standing in salah. Khair? And then a question would ask, people sitting at the back and making salah. It's a very important question. And the answer is, let's first understand the dynamics of jama'ah. The question is more about congregation salah. Congregation salah. Salah in jama'ah. So for a person to perform salah in jama'ah, there's certain conditions that must be there. And one of the conditions is al-ittisal. There must be a connection between the person, the one in front and the person at the back. Are you with me? There must be a connection. If there is no connection, then that salah is correct, but that salah will not be considered as salah with jama'ah. You got it? The salah will be correct, but the salah will not be considered as salah with jama'ah. So for example, let's say for example, I find a person, can I make salah following the TV? Can I make salah? You must understand there must be a connection. There must be a connection. And what is that gap that can be between the first and the second saf? The ulama say 3 of this. Actually from the here to the 3 of that. Let's see if our saf, we will have 1, 2. Our saf is normally 2. Dhira, we call this in Arabic a arm's length. But we call it in Arabic dhira. So there must be 3. Now, there must be 3 for that connection to be there, to be established. Now the question comes. A person, so we have 3 safs here, and then a person makes salah in that corner, and the safs end there. My question is, will this be considered to be ittisal? Based on my explanation. Anyone? Nope. There's no ittisal. There's no connection. And based on that, the person's salah will be correct. However, he will not get the reward of performing salah with jama'ah. Khair? So there must be ittisal. Ittisal means there must be a connection with the last saf and the saf after that. Khair? So for example, the 3rd saf, the connection shouldn't be more than 3 arms length. And if it's more than 3 arms length, I'm talking about when there is no need. There's no excuse. For example, there's no excuse. But when there is an excuse, because I can't make salah, there's no space there, I can make salah that side, then it's okay. But I'm talking about in general, there's no excuse. A person's salah with jama'ah is not established, and it's makruh to perform salah like that. Is the question answered? Is there any other questions up on that? Okay. Yes. So there must be a connection. So what happens is So for example, they make a soft here outside. So, say again? There's no soft in the, and there's no connection. We need to reconsider that and we need to look into that. We really need to, there must be a connection. In the Shafi'i madhab, there must be a connection. I've seen this by other masajid also. You cannot have a separate hall and then have another jama'at therein. There's no connection between the two. Unless we open a door and that person can, there's a connection between the next person. For example, I make salah there and then I open the door and then there's another saf after that. There's a connection, it's a clear connection, am I right? But if there's no connection, and that's why inshallah we should look into that as the masjid inshallah to see what's happening and how we can combat that inshallah. There must be an immediate connection. And that we should try to establish that immediate connection. And as mentioned, general rule is if there is an excuse, then that will be overlooked. But in a normal circumstance, there's no excuse, then your salah or jama'ah is not established. But again, is it an excuse, a valid excuse? I don't think it's a valid excuse, and we need to create that connection with the softs. So for example, we open here the courtyard, and we open the doors, and we create softs until there's a connection. Khair? So we need to look into that as the masjid, inshallah. But that's why I say, if it rains heavy, and there's no excuse, then it's okay. See? And then it's okay. But normally there needs to be a connection. There must be ittisal for jama'ah. Is the person's salah correct? Is his salah correct? But what we're trying to establish here is salah with jama'ah correct. And there's karaha, there's dislike into doing that. Okay? Some ulama also within the Shafi'i madhab, they say what is considered to be a gap between the two softs. It can be according to the urf. Urf means the custom of people. But one of the Imam Nawawi's qawl is ثلاثة أذرع, 3 arms length. That's Imam Nawawi's qawl. But there is a qawl within the madhab, it's according to urf. But I prefer that we stick to the ثلاثة أذرع, the 3 arms length. So we should try, inshallah, see that we have now that facility. We open the doors, inshallah, we make a saf and another saf and another. We create that connection. If there's no connection, then there's question about our congregation salah. Okay. It's like almost like you're making salah behind the TV. And is salah making behind the TV salah, correct? Okay, inshallah. So I hope that answers the question, inshallah. And I hope, inshallah, we will take note of that, inshallah, and encourage. So, what's the solution to our masjid? I know that we're sitting there, inshallah. What's the solution? Let's create the softs in such a way that we put these chairs at the end of the softs. Okay? So we put chairs there, chairs there, chairs there, and chairs there. Now we feel contented that majority of the people are attaining and they're getting the salah with jama'ah. Okay? Inshallah. I think this is also okay only when there is soft still there, at the 4th soft. Okay, then it's okay. But to remove all the shubhat and all these ikhtilaf and just to get the proper way is we put the chairs there at the corner on the sides, and then the brothers perform salah with jama'ah, inshallah. I hope that clarifies everything, inshallah. If there's any question on that. Okay, there is a difference. Is obviously you don't get jama'ah because of the ittisal, but the second thing is you make salah in the masjid. There's also more reward in making salah in the masjid and in salah. So there's always some benefit. There is some benefit, but you don't maximize the benefit where you're supposed to take the benefit. Okay? So, the best option, inshallah, and let's try to encourage our brothers, obviously with politeness. We always try to do with politeness. And that's how Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wants us to talk to one another. وَمَا عَلَيْنَا إِلَّا الْبَلَاغُ. Our duty is just to convey. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala puts the guidance within the heart. No, I'm discussing the masala. I'm discussing. So it might be that they're looking from the angle of urf. They might look at the angle of urf. When I say urf, it means the distance can be based on the custom of people. That can also be on how they're looking at it. But at the end of the day, it's still karaha. There's still karaha with it. Are you with me? And we're trying to remove that and to create some stability with congregation salah, and that's what we do is. But I've seen many jama'ah salah, many masajid, they put these chairs on the end. They put the chairs on the end. No, so what they do maybe is they put the chairs there at the back for the brothers to bring it to the front. No, that's what the masajid does. They put the chairs at the back. Putting the chairs at the back does not tell you to make salah at the back. You understand? But our people need to be educated and say, come to the front, make salah at the end. Okay? I understand that is. So what can be done is, why don't the brother, instead of going there, he walked from the house or wherever he walked from, walk straight to that place, and then, I know, sitting and standing up, and I know that all that, understand? What I'm trying to say is, I'm just trying to, so there's ikhtilaf. What's the best way out to get the sunnah is, to do what is ahwat, what is most, on the more cautious side, on the more right side, understand? So I would encourage, and as mentioned, if there's a genuine reason, no problem. I said when there's a genuine reason, but generally, I'm just bringing this to the majma', to the congregation, and hopefully, inshallah, we take from that, inshallah. Okay? Okay, so sitting and making sunnah salah, it is 100% correct, because standing in the sunnah salah is not compulsory. Standing in the sunnah salah is not compulsory. Standing in the farl salah is compulsory. The difference. So if, for example, even if myself, I make salatul jama'ah, and after that I'm young, I'm energetic, ek druk squale nie as ek opstaan en so aan te sien, en ek sit en maak salah. My salah is 100% correct. Are you with me? Because, however, it must be noted that salah is half the reward of that person that will stand. Are you with me? Yes. Yes. So you can sit and make salah. So first, you're gonna stand in salah. If you can't stand in salah, you're gonna sit in salah. You can have an option between the chair or sitting. If you can't sit, you lay and make salah. How? First on your right hand side. If you can't on your right hand side, your left hand side. If you can't on your left hand side, then you lay on your back. If you can't lay on your, so when you lay on your back, you have to lift up your head. If you can't do that, then you just indicate. If you can't indicate, and your brain is still functioning, and then you will imagine that you're reading Surah Fatiha. You will imagine that you're making your ruku. And if your brain don't function, then what? Then salah is compulsory upon you. Are you with me? So the brain, once the brain is away, then salah is compulsory upon you. Khair? So sitting and making sunnah salah, it's 100% correct. And I've always have this discussion is that sometimes people come make salah to tarawih and they sit and make salah. And sometimes people say, hey, go and sit and make salah. He's within his right. It's sunnah. You know? It's a farad, it would be a different thing, but he's within his right. If he wants to sit and make salah, no problem. So the reward is upon him. Obviously, the reward will differ according to this. However, if a person cannot stand in salah, will his reward be half? No. His reward will be the same. Are you with me? This is only when a person is a bit lazy. Then the reward will be a bit lazy for him also. Inshallah. There's hadith, yes. I need to check in my Ghayatul Munah. I've read the hadith, and I've read the stuff. It's in the sarh of this book. Okay, so now we're going to the Adhan, the call for prayer salah, Iqamah, on page 40. On page 40. I think we skipped this before we go into salah. Okay. Adhan and Iqamah are both sunnah for Farul Salah, whether praying alone or in a second jama'ah of Salah. So for example, the Mu'adhin forgot to make Adhan in the Imam. Say, Allahu Akbar. What must happen now? Must the Imam leave the Salah and say, okay, Mu'adhin make Iqamah, or what? Second? I started my farad. So I'm not going to go back from my farad to a sunnah. Are you with me? So we keep on making salah. So this happened once in our madrasa. And Sheikh Isa, I don't know if you guys know Sheikh Isa Al-Jazairi. Huh? So he was the imam that time. So then the Mu'adhin told him, we forgot to make adhan, and he kept on making salah. Okay? And then he explained the masala afterwards. So the Mu'adhin said, we didn't make iqamah, so he kept on reading Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. It was Maghrib salah or Isha, one of the two. Okay? So it's sunnah. We keep on making salah. The sunnah. Okay? To call out the adhan is better than being the imam for the salah. To call out the adhan is better than being the imam for the salah. Nabi Muhammad said that al-mu'adhinun, the mu'adhin, the people that makes the adhan, they will have the longest neck on the day of Yawm al-Qiyamah. Will they look like giraffes? It doesn't mean that. It doesn't look like the apparent meaning of the hadith. It means that they will be saved on the day of Yawm al-Qiyamah. They will stand out. One hadith means they will be noticed by everyone. As jy die langste man in die building is, and everyone have to look up to see you. So that one of the meaning of the hadith is the person will be noticed in front of everyone. He will be standing out. Are you with me? That's one meaning. And another meaning of the hadith is that when people will be drowning in sweet, dan sê net 'n bietjie, ek gaan even drink, ek gaan 'n bietjie bo water swem. Just our explanation of but sometimes we look down on the mu'adhin, but in actual fact they have a great martaba and status in the sight of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So if we have the opportunity, inshallah, we can make adhan. We ask the mu'adhin first, can I make the adhan today, inshallah? And perhaps you will be of those that Allah subhanahu will honor on the day of Yawm al-Qiyamah. It's something, it's great. Okay. The words of the adhan is Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, Ashhadu Allah. It's important that I hear people say Ashhadu, Ashhadu. It's wrong. It's supposed to be Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah, Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah, Ashhadu anna Muhammadar Rasulullah, but Muhammadur Rasulullah. It's wrong. Ashhadu anna Muhammadar Rasulullah, Ashhadu anna Muhammadar Rasulullah, Hayya ala salah, Hayya ala salah, Hayya ala al-falah, Hayya ala al-falah, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, La ilaha illallah. It is sunnah to recite the two tashahhud in a low voice before calling it loud. So before you say Ashhadu an la ilaha, so say Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah. You will see in the adhan, you will have to pause. Are you with me? Only one place you don't pause is where is that? Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. You can't say Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. You know, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, Allah. You can't pause therein. Are you with me? But after that, Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah. Now you pause. Ashhadu an la. Now when you pause, before you say Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah, it's sunnah to say it soft. Ashhadu an la ilaha. Say it soft, and then you say it loud. Okay? The Ashhadu an la, Ashhadu anna Muhammad Rasulullah. Okay? So this is how you make it's sunnah. If I don't make it, the adhan is correct. Okay? But it is sunnah to get more reward for the mu'adhin. And then to add in the subuh salah before the final takbir, before we say Allahu Akbar, La ilaha, before we say that, we say As-salatu khayrun minan nawm, As-salatu khayrun minan nawm. Our adhan is everything twice. Our adhan is everything twice. You've heard the adhan of the iqamah of the Hanafis already. It's different to ours, no? Okay. So ours is everything twice. Okay? As-salatu khayrun minan nawm. Salah is better than sleep. As-salatu khayrun minan nawm. Salah is better than sleep. Okay? And then we go to the words of iqamah, everything once. Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. Now in the iqamah you don't pause. Just go on. Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah. Ashhadu anna Muhammadar Rasulullah. Hayya ala salah, hayya ala al-falah. Not qad. There's a rule called qalqala. Qad qamatis salatu, qad qamatis salah. Are you with me? You must make that qad. But qat, it sounds like you say qat. No? But it's a dal. And a dal, when it's sakin, I'm talking about tajweed rules. Obviously, you don't have to apply the tajweed rules there, but just to be correct. Okay? Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, La ilaha illallah. Okay? So when giving the adhan in the iqamah, it is mustahab to do what? To be in the state of wudu. If a person make adhan without wudu, is it correct? I'm going to say, okay, I must come again. Now you're going to make people confused. Hey, why they have two adhans now? To stand, you must stand, face the qibla, to turn the head to the right side when you say hayya ala salah, and to turn the head to the left side when you say. Not Hayya. Now. Are you with me? You turn the head only, not the body. Okay? But if a person turns the head, is it correct? Is it correct? Yes, no problem. But out of doing the right thing and doing the right thing is we do that. To call out the adhan calmly and slowly, pausing for an interval after each phrase of the adhan equal to the duration of the phrase except for the repetition of Allahu Akbar. As I mentioned before, the only way where we won't pause is Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. Say Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. Like that. Are you with me? Then inshallah. Which are said in pairs and given in Iqamah repeatedly without pausing. As mentioned, in Iqamah, no pause. To repeat each phrase after the mu'adhin, for me and for you. Are you with me? And when we repeat, we will read this. We repeat Allah. If the mu'adhin say Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, we say Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. If we say Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah, we say Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah. Ashhadu anna Muhammadan Rasulullah, we say Ashhadu anna Muhammad. If we say Hayya ala salah, we say La hawla wa la quwwata illa billah. If we say Hayya ala falah, say La hawla wa la quwwata illa billah. If he say Qad qamat is-salah, what do we say? You always hear the Imam say Aqamaha Allah wa adamaha. Inshallah, we must try to learn this, inshallah. When the muqim, the mu'adhin or the person that's making iqamah, you say قَدْ قَامَتِ الصَّلَاةُ قَدْ قَامَتِ الصَّلَاةُ. Then we say أَقَامَهُ اللَّهُ وَأَدَامَهَا. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make this iqamah and this adhan be raised forever and forever. Okay? And then when the person say as-salatu khayrun min an-nawm, we say sadaqta wa bararta. You have spoken the truth and you have done good. Okay? So these are the words. And after the adhan, we read the dua. Allahumma rabba hadhihi ad-da'wati at-tammah was-salati al-qa'imah آت سيدنا محمدا الوسيلة والفضيلة وبعثه مقاما محمودا الذي وعدته إنك لا تخلف الميعاد. Some people say أرزقنا شفاعته يوم القيامة. No problem, you can say that inshallah. But this is the most authentic way of saying it. Okay? Do we have any questions with regards to the adhan? If a person makes the adhan in the state of junub, major impurity, it is a greater makruh. It's normally makruh to make adhan, but it's makruh ashaddu. It's more disliked by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala when he makes the adhan in the state of junub. It's even worse. Okay? The condition for a person to make adhan. Okay. It's a I'm not getting the question. Istikhara. What about istikhara?
Where do you fit in this adhan iqamah? Where do you fit it? When you do that, when you bring salah, when you take it down, for the one that you bring up, the salah.
Oh, you're talking about jam salah. Oh, okay. You're talking about jam salah. Then you make the adhan and the iqamah for both salahs. So if I make a 2 rak'ats, and you make it again, adhan, but not for not iqamah, you make both, not adhan. Okay? Iqamah, you make both, not adhan. Okay? In 2 iqamas. Yes. So the iqamah is just to tell you that salah is starting now. Adhan is to call everyone to come to make salah. And the iqamah is to tell you, that's why they say, قَدْ قَامَتِ الصَّلَاةِ. Salah is commencing now. Salah is commencing now. Are you with me? You should be standing already in salah. according to the Shafi method, when I read it, it is when the mu'adhin stands up and you say the first thing, the safs must be ready. See, we shouldn't wait. Why? We should run, because if the imam start, then we don't miss the takbiratul ihram. Are you with me? And we know when a person make 40 salah with jama'ah and catching the takbiratul ihram, Allah gives you 2 rewards, bara'atu min al-nifaq wa bara'atu min al-nar. Allah, a certificate of freedom from the fire of Jahannam and a certificate of freedom from nifaq. Are you with me? So that's why our ulama say, when the mu'adhin starts and you see the mu'adhin stand up already, make yourself in order, especially, so they differentiate between the two. They're saying, if it's an elderly person, if it's an old person, then he must already stand up when the imam stand up, when the mu'adhin stands up. But when it is a young person, then he can delay because he has some energy with him. Are you with me? So they differentiate, but at the end of the day is, it's recommendable for everyone to come when the adhan starts, when the iqamah starts. Are you with me? So for example, the mu'adhin comes here, say Allahu Akbar, then everyone should come. But then they say when it's a youngster, he can come later. Because he's a bit younger, so he will come when the takbiratul ihram. But he's an old person, because he's walking a bit slow, so he must come immediately. He mustn't delay. Okay? The iqamah. Yes. The young person should also have yes. I'm getting just a slight different understanding. No. Yes. So that's why I say everyone should be standing here. However, if it is a young person, then he can. The whole thing is about catching takbiratul ihram. Are you with me? The whole thing is about catching takbiratul ihram. So the possibility of the young person catching takbiratul ihram is more than an old person if they have to walk together. Are you with me? And that's why the old person is much more recommended to go before, or when he sees the mu'adhin stand up, he must already stand up. Are you with me? Because of catching takbiratul ihram. But you are right. Qad qamati salah, it should be. Yeah, but can the youngster delay it, and he knows it's certain that he will catch takbiratul ihram? No problem. Okay. Okay, so it's a grammar, it's grammatical, yes. So because of anna, because there's anna, the mubtada, am I going too far? Am I going too far? Okay. So in a sentence you get a mubtada and you get a khabar. The people that know so the mubtada is the subject matter and the khabar is the information of the subject matter. So for example, I say Shakir is standing. So Shakir is the mubtada and the khabar is standing. What is he doing? Is the information about the subject matter. So when anna comes on the sentence, then it gives the mubtada harful jar. In Arabic we call it harful jar. It gives a nasab. We shouldn't say not harful jar. It is put in halatul nasab. It put in halatul nasab. We shouldn't say nasab, because sometimes nasab can be or it can be hubla. I'm explaining now in detail, and I don't think this is the class for that, but it's a grammar mistake. Is it right to say it like that? Is it right to say will the adhan be correct? Yes, but we should try to keep the grammar flowing. So if you say Anna Muhammadun, then you change the whole grammar rules. You're making it all different, but it can be correct. There is another rule that can make it correct. It can be. I don't want to go into details. I think it's too much for us, though. But it will be correct. But grammatically, pronunciation will be correct. As amper as ek sê, Wild, for what? You know, it's just making an example. So it will be correct, but it shouldn't be to like the underrate. Grammatically, it will be incorrect. Okay? So that's why we say Ashhadu anna Muhammadan, because Muhammad is the mubtada of anna and Rasulullah is the khabar of anna. If you have to make tartib of the sentences, inshallah. Inshallah, one day if you want to learn grammar, inshallah. One of my favorite subjects, so inshallah. So okay, inshallah. So let's do the conditions for the adhan. Did I answer all the questions? Am I talking?
Why are some people have changed certain things in the wording in their adhan?
Like?
Is that acceptable?
Like what?
The Shia adhan, the way they say their adhan.
It's not acceptable. Nope, it's not acceptable. It's not acceptable. The adhan is part of our Sharia, and it should be said like how the Prophet ﷺ taught Bilal radiallahu anhu, like how it was given to Bilal radiallahu anhu, like how it was conveyed. That we cannot add and we cannot say this will make sense now, this will make sense. No, we can't just come with our logic and put deen into like the Shias they do, they put their own stuff in. So it's not acceptable. Okay? Sometimes you want to add because it sounds nice. You can't add. Okay? The conditions for the mu'adhin. There are 4 conditions. The first one is Islam. He must be a Muslim, so we can't have a kafir that makes adhan. It must be mumayyiz, the age of understanding. So we said normally 7 onwards, 9 onwards. Sanity, it must be normal. It's kind of like abnormal or insane person make adhan. It must be a male if the adhan is for jama'ah or for men. Now if you look at this condition, if the jama'ah is for females, then she can make adhan. But for men, it must be a male. Okay? Now we go to our Arkanul Salati Sab'atu Ashara. The Fara'id of Salah is 17. We mentioned a few last week. The intention, and we mentioned also the Masail of intention. The intention, the place of intention is normally where? Qalb. Mahalluha al-qalb. The place of intention is the heart. But it's faral to say it in the heart. When I say in the heart, it means your mind connected with the heart. Right? I don't know how your heart will say it, just so, but we mean your intention with your mind. It is mandub, it is mustahab to say talaffuz, to verbally express yourself. Are you with me? Nawaitu usalli farad salat al-dhuhr or farad salat al-asr. Okay? So but I would encourage, it's mandub to say it, just to remove that wiswas. You know, normally a person say, did I make the niyyah or didn't I make? So if you say talaffuz, then you remove that wiswas, you remove that shaitan's whispering. Are you with me? So if you want to say it loud, say it loud. Now it was salati. But remember that it must be joined with your takbiratul ihram. Allahu Akbar. So when we say takbiratul ihram, what do? We raise the fingers till where? So this must be here above, and this thumbs must touch the earlobes. Are you with me? So it must be, and facing the Qibla. Allahu Akbar. So when you go here, al-akhdh, you get 2 types. You get putting like this. You get, now our madhab say al-akhdh wal-qabd is the same. Al-akhdh, you need to grab, so you touch this. This needs to go here on, and this needs to go here on. Okay? So the fingers must be here on the side, on the forearm. It must be here in front. The fingers. Okay? So this is how you do it. It must be in Mughni al-Muhtaj, you say ma'ilan ila al-qalb, so like this. Okay? So like this. This is how your hand's supposed to be. Okay? So, Allahu Akbar. Below or above the navel and below the chest, am I right? Okay. Inshallah. So that is how you say Takbiratul Ihram. I've seen many a times, and just to bring it to our intention, I've seen many a times people come in the masjid, and they come, the Imam is in ruku, Allahu Akbar. The salah is not correct. Why is salah not correct? You never start with salah. The only way that you start with salah is Takbiratul Ihram. Takbiratul Ihram means it's a takbir that puts you in the salah. Are you with me? If you don't start with Takbiratul Ihram, anything that follows up, you're not in salah. Are you with me? So when you come, the Imam is in ruku, Allahu Akbar. You try to read Surah Fatiha, it depends. You need to judge yourself. If you can make it for Surah Al-Fatiha, if you can't, then you leave. Here, Surah Al-Fatiha can be omitted, it can be left out. So Allahu Akbar. You see the Imam, Allahu Akbar. You can't go like this, Allahu Akbar. You never start the salah. You need to first start salah, which is Takbiratul Ihram, Allahu Akbar, then Allahu Akbar. Are you with me? But you can't go straight into that posture where the Imam is. You need first to start your salah. And your start of salah is Takbiratul Ihram. Okay? So that's a common mistake. And inshallah, I hope that we do not make that common mistake here, inshallah. So Takbiratul Ihram. And as mentioned before, I said you get 4 Raf'ul Yadains. How many Raf'ul Yadains? What is Raf'ul Yadain? The raising of the hands. You get 4. The first one in Takbiratul Ihram, no? That's one. The second one is Allahu Akbar. But this one, your hands will go till here. Okay? The only way where your hand will go is here, is Takbiratul Ihram. But the second one, and the third one, and the fourth one will go till here. So Allahu Akbar. Sami Allahu liman hamidah. It's 3, am I right? When is the fourth one? The fourth one is when you do the first sitting. Am I right? Allahu Akbar. You got it? It's 4. Okay? So we have 4. But the first one is till here. This needs to be in line with the, and this needs to be here. Okay? I hope that is clear. And one thing that I would like to mention also, inshallah, just for our salah to be correct, inshallah, we try to be as close to the sunnah of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, is that your takbiratul ihram should be prolonged according to how you go into the next posture. Like for example, Allahu Akbar, then you stop. Everything needs to move according to the next posture. Sami Allahu liman hamida. Allahu Akbar. So, is it correct? So sometimes people, one brother told me in the masjid, he said, the Imam came up, Allahu Akbar. So what happened is the brother thinks that the Imam is gonna. So, in actual fact, if you look at the sitting, the final sitting, it is to indicate to the musallis that we are in the final sitting of our salah. We will come to that, inshallah. So, your making of takbir shouldn't confuse the musallis, basically. Okay. Then we said, standing in Farul Salah for those who have the ability. Standing in Farul Salah, whether it is someone keeping you to stand. Are you with me? But standing must be upright. This is standing. When we say standing, it must be like this. Once a person stands like this, he's not standing, and that won't be considered to be standing. It must be upright. Once you're closer to ruku, and then that is not considered to be standing, and that is room for making your salah غير صحيح, not correct. Okay? So standing must be upright. Okay? So can I stand with someone? Can I stand like this and make salah? Can I? You can. If if you can get assistance by something, then it's okay. Okay? Yeah. Someone keeps you like this. But we don't want to put ourselves in difficulty, man. So if there's difficulty, Allah has made a way in. Allah has always given us a second option. There's always a second option. And our deen is based on that is it will accommodate everyone. It will accommodate everyone. And then number 4 is, and as mentioned, so the standing is only compulsory when? Farul salah, not sunnah salah, sunnah and sunnah salah. And then we said, if you can't stand and make salah, you sit and make salah. If you can't sit and make salah, you lay down. What's the first option of laying down? Right side, left side, and then on your back. The last option is on your back. And then if you can't make any movement, so also I forgot to mention, if you sit in salah, the lowering of your head in ruku should be less of that in sujood. Are you with me? The sujood must be more. Like for example, let's make an example. This is ruku. Sujood, it must be a bit lower. So if you can't go down and make sujood, so ruku must be a bit lesser than the sujood. So sujood must be more. You're putting down. Okay? And then Surah Al-Fatiha. Number 4 is Surah Al-Fatiha. Surah Al-Fatiha is for everyone. La salata. Your salah is not correct if you don't read Surah Al-Fatiha. So whether you are a follower, whether you are making salah alone, jama'at, whatever it is, every individual has to read Surah Al-Fatiha. Okay? If I don't know Surah Al-Fatiha, what must I do? No. Okay. But if it's a person that reverted back to Islam, okay? A revert, yes. So he became Muslim. He can't Surah Al-Fatiha. What do we do now? So there's obviously he won't be able to know other verses of the Quran, so he can make dhikr. They say at least he must try to bring 7 types of dhikrs. Why 7 types of dhikrs? 7 verses of Surah Al-Fatiha. If you can't bring 7 types of dhikr, you don't know any dhikr, then he must at least stand that duration of 7 verses being recited. For example, I know Surah Al-Fatiha, but I read the whole Quran. Allahu Akbar, ik maak tahajjud. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Alif Lam Mim. I come Surah Al-Nas. Ik realize, ik heb Surah Al-Fatiha, but is my salah correct? Even if you read the whole Quran, it cannot be equivalent to Surah Al-Fatiha. The only substitute will be the only way Surah Al-Fatiha will be removed from a person if he don't know Surah Al-Fatiha. However, he have to read, like Subhanallah. The hadith comes, the Prophet said, person said, I don't know Surah Al-Fatiha. The Prophet said, make this Subhanallah, Alhamdulillah, wa la ilaha illallah, Allahu Akbar, wa la hawla wa la quwwata illa billah. So I read this. Are you with me? So 7 types of, and in this hadith you will find 7 types of dhikrs. So 7 types of dhikr. Okay? But Surah Al-Fatiha must be read. Every person. When do I read Surah Al-Fatiha? Depends on the Imam. If the Imam is a fast Qari, then you read with him. After him. Don't try to be after him. But if the Imam gives you that, that's why the Imam, it's called a sakta. A sakta is that pause between Surah Al-Fatiha and the next surah. That's when you read Surah Al-Fatiha. The Imam should be he needs to consider the Musallin, the Ma'mum, and he should keep quiet for at least that duration, and then they can read the Surah Al-Fatiha. But I've met many imams that's fast, so you need to find out, okay, this imam. Say again? Yeah, because the Hanafi is not farad upon them. The Hanafi is the imam must read Surah Al-Fatiha. Okay? So if you're behind the imam, Hanafi, you try to squeeze in wherever you can. Okay, inshallah?
Surah Fatiha, you must mouth it. That's why you can't think people.
Yeah, you must hear yourself. Not in such a way that the person next to you must hear it. Bismillah. You're confusing the brother here next to you. He's also confused. He don't know where he is, but is he with you or is he with someone else? So we need to be considerate. Okay? Oh, yeah. Bismillah. Must read it. They say Qira'atul Fatiha. They say Qira'atul Fatiha, recitation of Surah Fatiha. They don't say Dhannul Fatiha, thinking of Surah Al-Fatiha. Huh? Must be recitation. Okay? In each raka'at Surah Al-Fatiha must be there. So you can read Surah Al-Fatiha from memory or by looking into the Mus'haf. So whether it is read loudly or silently, whether in Imam. So I also want to bring one that I've seen many people neglect this, is that, so when you make Qadha Salah, do you read loud or do you read soft? Depends on what? It's a good answer, but it depends on what? Huh? What Salah you read or what time you read the Salah? Say again? What time do you use Salah? Not what Salah you read. Are you with me? So if you make Subh in Dhuhr time, do you read loud or do you read soft? You make Dhuhr in Subh time, do you read loud or soft? So it depends on what? At the time, not the waqt itself. Okay? Barakallahu feekum. Then we have I'll run through this inshallah because I just want to finish the 17 faraid. Then we have the ruku, where we go down. The ruku should be like this. Should be straight. You get me? Not like this. Should be straight. This must be straight and you have to have ears. Okay, inshallah? Not like this where you make it difficult for the person next to you. Moderate. Okay, inshallah? That's ruku. And then at least 3 tasbih, Subhana Rabbiyal Azim or A'la. Subhana Rabbiyal Azim. Okay, A'la, we say when we in sujood, because we in the lowest place we can be, but we are praising the highest, and we say A'la, which is the highest. Okay? And then we have number 6, the remaining motionless for a moment therein, which we term this in Arabic itminan. Itminan. We mentioned that itminan is compulsory. Nabi Muhammad saw a person made salah and said, no, you didn't make salah, go back. You're stealing from your salah, go back. You know, so this is where itminan comes. Itminan is Allahu Akbar. It leaves your body must be motionless. Not like this. Allahu Akbar. Salah is incorrect. Salah is incorrect because you are missing out a farad. So itminan in i'tidal, itminan in sujood, itminan in jalsa, itminan. You will find 5 or 6 itminans. It must be there. Okay. Then we have i'tidal. I'tidal is where you stand up, straighten up after ruku, like the normal standing. And then you also have a remaining motionless for a moment therein. And then we have the 2 sajdas. And then we have to remain motionless for a moment therein. Remember that itminan is compulsory. Itminan is compulsory. Always remember that if a person does not do the itminan is basically the pause that you find yourself in the posture, that Stay calm therein. Then you have to do it. And then sitting between the two sajdas. This is the sitting. The sitting. Allah Akbar. The sitting. Okay? This is two sajdas. And then we have the remaining motionless, which is itminan. The recitation of the tashahhud at the end of the salah. The sitting there in tashahhud. I want to make mention here, it should be made clear, that the first sitting is not a rukn. Am I right? The first sitting is not a rukn. So for example, the imam, his mind is somewhere else, he's supposed to sit. Allah Akbar. Everyone at the back say, Subhanallah, Subhanallah. Huh? What must the imam? If you see the imam is already standing, don't worry about Subhanallah. Maybe one can person, but everyone, you're making the imam confused. What happens? The imam goes back. Now he's leaving a farad out for a sunnah. It's complicating the whole salah. Okay? And we don't want him to leave out the farad for a sunnah. The first setting is a sunnah. We will come to that. What sunnah is that? We call this sunnah ab'ad. Remember I told you, we get sunnah ab'ad and sunnah hay'at. As we emphasize sunnah, even if we miss out the sujood sahwi at the end, is salah still correct. Okay? Tashahhud. What is tashahhud? At-tahiyatul mubarakatuh, salatu at-tayyibatu lillahi. Assalamu alayka, ayyuhan nabi wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Assalamu alayna wa ala tashahhud. And the sitting therein, and then salah upon the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Allahumma salli ala Sayyidina Muhammad wa ala Sayyidina Muhammad. Okay? And then salam. The first salam. Assalamu alaikum. So for example, a person, he says assalamu alaikum, and then he gets a fart. But he didn't say the second salam. Is his salah correct? Yes, the first salam is farad, and not the second one. The second. So if he says assalamu alaikum, and the brother runs out of the masjid, his salah is still correct. Right? And then the last one is to follow the sequence. Everything needs to be in order. He cannot make sujood first and then he stand. Okay, ek gaat nou 4 raka'at maak, but ek gaat eerst begin by die sujood, maar ek gaat alles doen. No, everything must be in order. Okay, inshallah. We cannot start with the new chapter because there needs lots of explanation. So we will naktafi bihada. We will stop here, inshallah. The practical salah is the next page. How to do everything. So in the future, inshallah, we will do the practical salah. So I prefer, inshallah, if this will be our last class for the year, inshallah. But if the brothers want to have more class, inshallah, we can continue. But the chairman said, Molana, I'm going to break fat. Inshallah. So we take a break, inshallah, and then we start again with only the practicals of salah, and then we start immediately after that. We'll only have one class with the practicals of salah, and then we will start immediately after that with Kitab al-Sawm, the chapter of fasting, inshallah. And then when we start with Ramadan, inshallah, then we know all the masail. Can I use my isma pump? Can I inject myself in the stomach? Can I inject myself in the arm? We will do all these masail, inshallah, and then when we go into the month of Ramadan, we will know what break our fast and what don't break our fast, inshallah. Any questions? Shalom. The hadith say you do not لا تبرك I can't come to the hadith, but the Arabic, the wording say do not sit like the sitting of the camel. So the camel goes like this down, right? Even if you go down like this. Allah, first this. I said, okay, we're a bit old. We try to make excuse for the elderly, but you first go down like this. Allahu Akbar, then this. And then this. This shouldn't be be here. Yeah? And so it shouldn't be. There must be a gap. It's wrong. It's prohibited. The Prophet ﷺ said, don't do that. Any other questions? Oh, it's Simon. 17. Oh, 22. So any other questions?
For necklace of the stars, when you stand in Salah, everything must face Qibla.
Mm-hmm.
But if your feet is like this, you stand like this, should you put your hips straight?
So the feet must be like this. The Prophet said Shibran. Shibran is this. Face the Qibla. But if a person stands like this, is okay. As long as his chest does not turn away from the Qibla. Once the chest turns away from the Qibla, then the Salah breaks. But if it turns away like this and it looks like this, it's makruh to do that. But the only consideration or what needs to be looked at is when the chest turns away from the Qibla. Then the Salah is questioned. Okay? But you must have a shibran. You must try to have a shibran that, like this, between the two.
Wheelchair bound people.
Mm-hmm.
There was a guy here today with a wheelchair. And he moved his wheelchair there to the first trial. Is it okay?
Are you talking about the najasa?
Yeah.
Obviously, there will be najasa on the wheels. Then that needs to be looked at. It shouldn't come in the masjid with a najasa. But if there's no najasa and you see there's no najasa, then no problem. Okay. But so for example, maybe the wheelchair is they put him just in the car, he rides in the house, and then no problem. But as a man, pick and pay to ray and all that the problem is, inshallah. So you should look at that najasa stuff. Yes, if we can. Yeah. That's come over the wheelchair. It depends on you. Okay. Any other questions? Can I ask questions with regards to our class that we've done, covered for the few months? Okay, inshallah. Okay. Anyone can tell me the 3 types of najasa? The praise. Allah will reward you, that's a praise. Yeah. Anyone can tell me the 3 different types of najasa, an example with this najasa, the names, the translation of it, and the Bismillah. English also? The heavy one, example of it. And how do you clean it?
7 times, one of them is there.
Okay. Second one?
Intermediate one.
The intermediate one. How do you wash it? An example first, give me an example in how you wash it. You just wash it with water. Okay, and the last one is? The light one is, example? Okay, and how do you clean that? Okay. Just on the note of najasa mutawassita, we said you get hukman and aynan, right? Hukman is, for example, someone urinated on it, and then you put it in the cupboard, but after some months you don't see any stain on it. Are you with me? And that's a different ruling. And aynan is you can see the stain. So when you see the stain, you have to wash it until the stain is gone. Alright? But hukman is you put it in the cupboard, the stain is gone, so you just wash the place and don't need to look at the stain. Jazakumullah khairan, barakallahu feekum khair. Very good, inshallah. And then another question is the preconditions of Salah. How many types do we have? Preconditions of Salah. We call it shurutu Salah. Goede wat ek moet doen voor ek kan Salah maak. Oh, what is it? Say again? I can't hear. Your body must be clean. Your place must be clean. The clothes must be clean. What still? The time for Salah must be in. Free from najasa, yes. Hadar akbar and hadar asghar. Khair, inshallah. Okay, khair, inshallah. I think we can conclude with that, inshallah. Subhanallah bihamdi, subhanakallah wa hamdika, nashhadu an la ilaha illa anta, nastaghfiruka wa natubu ilayk. Subhana rabbika rabbil izzati amma yasifun, wa salamun ala al-mursalin.